Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off in turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weed Sports is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Sulky Dog.
All right, good evening there, everyone. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. We'll see if that is true when we get set and ready to rock and roll here. Okay, watch each driver roll there off the corner down there in the corner number 1. That's what I thought. I thought I didn't have something added into this. Let's see if we can get... No, we do have my voice there. That is good. Getting ready for qualifying here in just a few moments. Be sure not to go anywhere. Trying to go and get something situated here for us so that we have something on screen that we kind of need. And if it works that way or not. Qualifying underway. Here we go. Out on track. It's going to be come on now. We need this up here for qualifying. How you see Mike Stryker out there in the 015 taking his laps. Yeah, he goes around there on around the track. Other drivers' names up there above that nameplate. Trevor Guru, Bob the Good, Dan McLaren. All right, here we go. Perfect. And we got that up there. You see the times for the start of the all right, grid number 1 coming up here. Here is your starting grid for heat at number 1. We got out there Matt Barber starting on pole. Bud Molyneux there in a second, driving at number 883. In the 075 here tonight, that's going to be starting Trevor Guru in third position inside row number 2. Outside row number 2, they're in 4. That's going to be the number 20 of Blake Chapman. Then they're in row number 3 on the inside in 5th position. That's going to be Steven Bixler in that number 75. Ryland Banks, they're in 6th. And that number 76 here tonight. In 7th, that's going to be Dean Reynolds starting in at number 79. In 7th, inside row number 4. Outside row number 4, they're in 8th. That's going to be Bob the Good having that number 7 here tonight. All right, here we go. Getting ready for green flag here. Next line by. Off turn number 3 and 4. Here they go. Heading out here onto the front stretch. Green flag drops. Barney gets them under the way, and in the corner number 1 they go. Look at that 76 there of Ryland Banks getting right up underneath the 20 of Blake Chapman. Now you're watching that 83 of Bud Molyneux coming there in third. You got the 75T there of Trevor Guru as they work down there in the corner number 1. Out there in front, that's the 16 of Matt Barber. The fastest one, though, in this session is that 20 of Blake Chapman. He gets underneath up there into the top, sliding it up. It's almost 3 wide there as they battle on there behind him. Number 20 there, Blake Chapman in third. Bud Molyneux there in fourth. Steven Bixler in fifth. Ryland Banks in sixth. Matt Barber out front in that number 16 with Trevor Guru there in second. Blake Chapman in third. Rolling down that back straightaway here in the corner number 3 and 4. 3 laps to go here in heat number 1. Yeah, out there off of turn 4. Or I'm sorry, turn 2, down that back straightaway for the final time here in heat number 1. That's going to be Matt Barber coming off of 4, getting the win here in heat number 1 to start the night here at... Now, let me look here to see if I can figure out where they're at tonight. It's not official results. Oh, that's right. We're here at Lanier tonight. So your results here tonight. It's going to be... Oh, now I got to change that. Your results are going to be Matt Barber bringing home the win, Trevor Guru in second, Blake Chapman third, Bud Molyneux there in fourth, Round the Banks fifth, Dean Reynolds sixth, Stephen Bixler there seventh, Bob DeGood there in eighth. Here starting in heat number 2, it's going to be Mike Stryker in that 015 getting the pole to start the race with Joseph Grandy there in second. Mason Hines starts third tonight in that number 89. Isaac Salas in the number 5 starts fourth here in heat number 2 with Maverick Seidel there fifth. Patrick Spangler, he'll start there in 6th, and car number 39, Armando Melgosa there in 7th, with Brian Dickens in 8th, as they get ready. And the rock and roll here coming out of 4 for the start of heat number 2. As 015 there, as Isaac Salas classified as the fastest here in this one, as he is sitting there in 4th position. As you many know, here at Coast to Coast, they go and invert that top 4 as they run down here now in the corner number 3 and 4. Sliding up, the 89 there does a great job. Mason Hine hanging on to that second spot, putting them 3 wide there behind him. Isaac Salas up there against that outside wall. Joseph Grandy definitely had to back off and see some damage there to the right front of that machine. As they work there out of 4, the 26 there, Maverick Seidel working there in 3rd. Mason Hine there in 2nd. 4 laps to go. Here they come out of the corner. Trying to find a balance here as we work down there out of 3 and 4. Up the corner, Mike Strager out there in front. Mason Hine in 2nd. Maverick Seidel in 3rd. Now Isaac Salas, he'll get a run there on the inside of Seidel. He's going to try down here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's got it there. Can he slide it up? He will. Right up there in front of Seidel. Seidel's going to climb there on the outside, though. Going to try to keep that outside momentum going. Salas now down there on the inside. Can't quite get it there. Seidel still working on that high side. Salas, he's going to bring it up there and finally be able to pull it off. Seidel to the inside, coming there through turn 1 and 2. But that's going to wrap it up there. As Salas brings home 3rd, coming there off turn number 4. Let me know if you guys can hear the cars okay, or if something needs adjusted there at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here we go. Your results for heat number 2. It's going to be Mike Strager getting the win. Mason Hine there in 2nd. Isaac Salas getting 3rd position. Maverick Seidel there 4th. Joseph Grandy there 5th. Patrick Spangler in 6th. Armando Melgosa there in 7th. Brian Dickens there in 8th. All right, here we go. Now on the front, or on the heat number 3, Randy Shreves having the pole out there in front with Zach Chapman in 2nd in that car number 72. The 513 of Jeff Barker there in 3rd with Dan McLaren there in 4th in car number 88. In 5th, rolling off here in the 04, inside row number 3 for heat number 3. Yeah, it's going to be Greg Parmalee with Joe Marcel there in 6th position in car number 028. Now in the 28, Jeff Sharp, he'll be starting there in 7th with Michael Vecchio there in 8th. We get ready here for heat number 3. Oh, wrong thing. On the front stretch, in the corner number 1 they go. Yes, see the 72 trying to hang it out there. It does so. Down there on the inside, Zach Chapman has it work down there through, off the corner. And I wonder if something isn't running here tonight. No, it's running. Hopefully it's all up to date. It says it is. So I'm used to seeing Zach Chapman, I thought, in a Shaggy TV machine, but he's running a 72 there. Up there on the top side. Down there off the corner, looking to the inside of the 56, Randy Shreves. Going to get there. Can he make the pass happen here with 4 laps to go? Now 3 in there, 3 wide. Coming off turn number 4. Shaggy up there in a third with Randy Shreves in second. Looking underneath, the Dan McLaren can't quite get around. As Joe Marcel's there in fourth. Right behind his leaders. They work there off the corner down here in the 1 and 2. Track getting worn in here through heat 3. As they work down here now in the corner number 3. Chapman down there on the inside. Shreves up there in second. Still trying to hang on. Marcel, he'll get the pass done on the high side. As you got the 28 of Jeff Sharp. He's looking on the inside. Here comes the 513 of Barker. As they come here out of turn number 4. It's going to be Randy Shreves getting the win in car number 56. The 88 there of McLaren getting a second. Joe Marcel in the 028 getting third. Your official results here for heat number 3. It's going to be Randy Shreves out there in front. Dan McLaren in second. Joe Marcel there third. Zach Chapman there in fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. Greg Parmalee there in sixth. Jim Sharp seventh. Michael Vecchio there in eighth. We'll be back after this short message.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Fox Sports Network. It's on the champion, trying to be at the
Hiatus, so let's get. We talked about it. the speedway, trying to get things situated. I don't know if I have everything the way it should be. I'm trying to make sure it is. But here we go. Here, starting with the grid here tonight. On pole, that's going to be Matt Barber there in car number 16. Starting there on pole to his outside in that front row. That's going to be Mike Stryker driving that 015 here tonight. In the third, that's going to be Randy Shreves there in a third. Driving that car number 56. Outside row number 2, that's going to be Trevor Garou starting fourth. Driving car number 075. Mason Hine there in a fifth. Inside row number 3. Driving car number 89. Dan McLaren, car number 88, starts sixth tonight. That'll be outside row number 3. Blake Chapman, he's back here in seventh, driving car number 20. With Isaac Salas there in 8th, driving car number 5. The 028, Joe Marcel in 9th with Bud Molyneux there in 10th, driving at 883. There in 11th, Maverick Seidel in 11th, driving car number 26. With Zach Chapman in car number 72 there in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be starting Ryland Banks with Joseph Grandy there in 14th. Chip Barger there 15th. With Dean Reynolds in 16th. Patrick Spangler there in 17th, driving car number 39. With Greg Parmalee there in 18th, driving at 04. The car number 75 of Steven Bixler. He's going to start in 19th tonight with Armando Melgosa there in the 78, starting 20th. The 28 of Jeff Sharp will start 21st. Bob DeGood in 22nd. Brian Dickens there 23rd, and Michael Vecchio in 24th. There we go. Green flag is out there down and away. Here in the corner number 1. 25 laps to distance. Matt Barber. Great start there as we see Stryker has company there from Randy Shreves. As Shreves gets down there, brings it up onto the nose. Look out, coming there off the corner. 4 wide. They're not going to clear it. Coming there off turn number 1. They get all stacked up out there in turn number 1. Cars upside down, torn apart. Oh, man, what a mess. Man, cars just everywhere. Turn number 1 turned into the Lanier parking lot. Just did not end well here. We'll see if we can catch where it all went wrong. It looks like somebody ended up top there, and it just stacks up and just piles in here in the corner number 1. Oh, no, Zach Chapman, he gets punted around himself down there off the corner. Man, oh, man, what a mess this is. A lot to try to decipher here. Now, we see Chapman, he gets punted there, gets sandwiched, and just has nowhere to go. And then up there on the outside, a lot of other drivers, Mason Hine, upside down there in the 89. Cars missing wheels, missing hoods, missing bumpers, all kind of debris out there on the racetrack. Our line back up here, side by side. Should be going back. Green flag racing here as they come out of the corner. Here we go. 21 laps to go as they try to get it back underway. Back down there on the inside. That's the 88 of McLaren. Little damage here to the back corner of that machine as he works there. You got the 75 way up there on the top side of Trevor Garou. Yeah, he works up there along the top. There you see him coming there off the corner. There you see Zach Chapman just trying to get something pulled together there. And they work down there out of the corner with Joe Marcel down there in that number 28. Isaac Salas, he's working his way through the field as well. We've got a few drivers a lap down here at the moment. And they work there off the corner number 4, 21 laps to go. Some of these drivers are going to end up down there on the bottom side. You see that number 78 of Armando Melgosa. As the leaders stay to the top side, single file. Matt Barber, Randy Shreves, Trevor Garou, working out of 2. 19 laps to go. Blake Chapman there in 5th. Isaac Salas there in a 5th. Blake Chapman back to 6th. And he's out there. We got problems again on the speedway. Ryland Banks this time involved. We'll see exactly how and why. There we see him up there on the top side, trying to get to the outside, and they just come together, and oh man, he ends up clipping that outside wall. Goodbye front tire. He's down there on the bottom side, and that's 76. Unfortunately, he has to bring it to a stop, and he's got no way of steering that car at the moment. Tough break there for Ryland Banks in that car number 76. Up there on the top side, you'll see Matt Barber out there still with the lead. Randy Shreves there in 2nd. Trevor Garou there in a 3rd. Off the corner here tonight, down and away they go. Matt Barber out there in the front. Randy Shreves there in 2nd. Gonna slide it up there in front of that number 015 of Mike Stryker as they roll there off the corner. Down that front straightaway they go, trying to go 3 wide in place of Salas. Working his way up there through the field, sitting there in 6th right now. Doing a great job up there on the high side, and that machine has slight damage to the corner of that front passenger side. Matt Barber's out there. You see that 75T, Trevor Garou there in the middle. Isaac Salas fitting there, Maverick Seidel, Patrick Spangler. He's back here in the number 39 down there on the inside. Gonna try to hold it together. He's got 28 there of Joe Marcel. Working underneath him. Spangler ending up being caught in the middle right now. 15 laps to go. Got to try to make sure he doesn't lose it there through the slick. Here comes Dean Reynolds up there into the mix as well, in around that 12th position. Still leading it though is Matt Barber. Randy Shreves there in 2nd. Blake Chapman down there on the bottom side in that number 20, giving Garou a run for his money down there. He might have found something down there on the bottom side. Sal is bringing it along with him here at Lanier. Work there off turn number 3 and 4, that bottom side, slowly coming in, it looks like, as Chapman's trying to get it to fight enough. As you see, he is gaining ground down there just slowly, as that outside lane still has a little bit more momentum as they work there off the corner. The 56 brings it off. That is going to be Randy Shreves bringing it up and parking it on the nose of Matt Barber. Isaac Salas there. There comes Trevor Garou. He's working on that top side as well. Man, things are heating up here in the top 5 as they come battling there off of 4. Salas down there on a 3 wide on the bottom with Garou stuck in the middle. Barber up there on the high side. Chapman down there on the inside of Shreves trying to hang on to that. Has 10 laps to go as you watch roll there off of turn number 4. Looking back in the field a little bit there, you see Dean Reynolds. Underneath him, that 89 there of Mason Hine, who is a lap down, just trying to get some points on the board here. Greg Parmalee there in 15th in that car number 04. Looks like Zach Chapman has got some things working in his favor now as they work on out through there. Blake Chapman out front in that number 20, out there on the bottom, as we said, looked like he got something found out down there in that 20 RT. Working there in the corner number 3 and 4. Up there on the high side, Randy Shreves still trying to hang it on. Salas breaks into the top 3 now, here late in the goings of the limited late models here this Wednesday evening. He's up there on the top side, trying to bring it through, but Blake Chapman, he's found something there towards that middle to low line. Working there off the corner. Caution is out. Patrick Spangler having issues and is around and in the pits. Spangler way up there on the high side. That 028 there on the bottom as the 88 gets up here. He had to check up. Ended up getting into the outside wall. Spangler to the pits. Man, oh man, I hope everybody's enjoying the excitement here tonight. Here with the Mission 22 Hometown Heroes. Definitely appreciate Mission 22 coming on board. And for those viewers that might not know, I don't have a video downloaded yet, but I will be getting one for Mission 22 to play here at FFTV. I'm going to end up trying to get some things situated here for FFTV whenever we do our shows. Which would cross over here on the nights that I help produce here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. But Mission 22, that 22 is significant. And for those that might not know, the 22 is for them 22 veterans a day that lose their life to mental illness. So definitely want to try to lower that if we can. Mission 22 with a great mission out there. Be sure to check them out. Here's we come through the corner. 5 laps to go. Blake Chapman out front. Randy Shreves there in second. Isaac Salas there third. Coming there off the corner, down into corner number 3 and 4. Up off the corner they go. Salas there third. Shreves there in second. Blake Chapman rather, out there in the front. Zach Chapman back there at the back, just trying to hang on now. There behind the 04, Greg Parmalee. Now 2 laps to go here for Blake Chapman. He's back to rolling that bottom to low line. Up off the corner down here in the 3. Back down there along the low side. Gonna let it drift up off. Final lap for Blake Chapman. Salas now has a battle going on for third as Guru finds that bottom line. Down there off the back stretch. Here comes that 20, Blake Chapman off the corner. He will get the win here in the limited late models for your Mission 22 race at Lanier. Great win there by Blake Chapman, bringing that car up 6 positions to get the win. Randy Shreves there's second. Trevor Guru finishes third with a great last lap. Getting around Isaac Salas, who finishes 4th. Matt Barber finishes 5th. We'll get a full rundown here in just a moment. And you see your top 3 lined up there on the front straightaway. Your finishing order looks like this. Blake Chapman, your winner. Randy Shreves getting second. Trevor Guru there in third. Isaac Salas 4th. Matt Barber there 5th. Maverick Seidel there 6th. Mike Stryker there in 7th. Dean Reynolds there 8th. Dan McLaren in 9th. Joe Mossell there in 10th. Jeff Sharp 11th. Jeff Barker there in 12th. Joseph Grandy in 13th. Greg Parmalee there in 14th. Zach Chapman there 15th. Michael Vecchio there in 16th. Bob DeGood 17th. Rolling on down through here. 18th going to Mason Hine with Bud Molyneux there in 19th. Armando Malgosa there in 20th. Patrick Spangler 21st. Ryland Banks there in 22nd. 23rd going to Stephen Mixler. And Brian Dickens rounds out your field there in 24th. What a great run that was there for the limited late models here this Wednesday evening. Hopefully we can continue that. We'll get with our winners here. We'll start with position 3, Trevor Guru. Well, where is my thing here? There we go. Good evening there. I guess I got Randy Shreves here. How's it going, Randy?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. That was a fun one for sure.
That looked like it was a really fun one. I mean, you guys battled it hard up there in that top 5 for quite a while.
Yeah, I was just up there battling with Matt for the longest time. Couldn't get around him, then finally made a move. I don't know. I mean, I was hoping I was clear, but, you know, it was kind of a do or die thing there. And I just wanted to be out front. And then once I got out front, you know, I realized Blake was down there on the bottom. And, you know, when he's on the bottom, that means, you know, it's fast. And, you know, he got by me. So I was just trying to figure out that bottom because I had been running the top all night. And the bottom's just a little different. And, you know, all I could do is just kind of chase him at that point.
Definitely, I did a great job, and I'm noticing here on stream, I don't know if that's the correct paint or not, but I'm noticing you have something on the hood of your car.
Yeah, that was for, you know, one of my buddies. He passed away about a week ago, and my son, he made a little memorial decal to put on my car, and yeah, I just wanted to run that and show him some love, and yeah, definitely meant a lot when he made that.
Well, you did a great job bringing that number 56 up there in the second. Unfortunately, yeah, Blake had something figured out there on the bottom. That bottom side definitely came in late in that one.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know, it was tricky, man, and, you know, Blake, he's fast anywhere he goes, but, so, I don't know, once I seen him down there on the bottom, I just knew the bottom was fast, and that's where I needed to be, and for him to mess up, but, you know, that's rare for Blake to mess up, and he did a great job.
Alrighty, well, congrats there. And Saga, you got any other sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely want to thank Coast to Coast, man. You for the broadcast, Adam. Mission 22 for coming on board. They're awesome. My son Dylan Street for painting this awesome car. My buddy Jeff Spann, my buddy Mike McCoy, and, you know, everybody else for watching.
Alrighty, well, congrats there. And will we see you racing more tonight?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, we look forward to it.
All right, thank you.
I have Randy Shreve, second place. Now we get with Trevor Guru at third place, who I thought I was meeting up with first. There we go. Trevor, how's it going?
Good, you?
It's going well. Man, oh man, what a race tonight.
Yeah, man, incredible field of cars, man. It was, every week, man, these things are getting just more and more popular. I love it. It's good to see.
It is. We love the car counts here, and definitely a lot of fun to watch you guys battle it out as hard as you did here tonight.
Yeah, man, just like I said, huge field of cars, lots of competition. I mean, you had Blake Chapman in here, who's one of the best in the league at everything. So he came in here to put an ass whooping on all of us and got her done. And obviously Randy, dude, he's very good in everything as well. Like, especially these limited lates, he's tough to beat. And then Isaac's in here too. It's just, like I said, huge, good field of cars. It was good competition, good racing, especially at Lanier, which is kind of, I find it to be notorious for, you know, kind of being one lane, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, the top was there for a bit, then it shifted down to the bottom. It was a good track.
By the end of it, we had 2 lanes of racing going on, almost 3.
Yeah, man, it was couldn't ask for any better than that. It was fun.
Yeah, that track definitely worked in well here tonight, and you guys didn't disappoint with the show, that's for sure.
Love to hear it.
Well, you got any shout-outs, thank yous, anybody you want to, you know, sponsors?
Yeah, just give a shout-out to all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop, Expert Installation, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series. Give a shout-out to Randy and Blake on some good runs, and just everybody at C2C for putting this stuff on, and all the presenting sponsors of the series. I believe Mission 22 was part of that, so shout out to them. Shout out everyone who makes this stuff possible. You Flieger, for doing the broadcast. We appreciate it. Thank you, like I said, everyone behind the scenes for putting this stuff on, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Oh, it definitely was a great one to watch, and can't wait to see what we got going forward. And you racing more tonight there, Trevor?
I might. I'm undecided right now.
Alrighty, well, good luck if you do. If not, enjoy the rest of your night. Congrats on 3rd place here at Lanier.
You too, Flicker. Thank you.
All right, that was Trevor Grew. Now we'll get with our winner here, Blake Chapman. Good evening there, Blake. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. What a night of racing it is.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Usually I don't like this track here very much, but, it'll probably go back to its old ways of the sprint cars. I'm guessing it'll be one lane, but, yeah, really good track here. I was expecting to run the top, and everyone else was up top, so I figured, what the heck, let's go to the bottom, see if there's anything down there, and we were able to find some grip, and able to make our way to the front and hold on for the win.
So listening to you drivers, it sounds like you guys were all surprised that Lanier showed a 2nd lane here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I don't run the late models a lot, but definitely the sprint cars you usually have early in the night that bottom, middle, and then the top comes in, and then the top's just too fast, especially with a fixed setup. So I think that's probably what most guys expected, but these limited late models, you can move around basically anywhere you wanted to put the car. If you were fast and you were hitting your marks, it was going to be all right. So, it's great as a driver to see a track like this where you can move around and make different things work, for sure.
Well, you got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that victory here in the limited lates tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank the family for watching. I got to thank all the guys down at KSR, and I got to thank Steve Bixler for hopping in and spotting for me there after he got in the wreck on the first lap. I appreciate that. And I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at NJ Custom Creations. I got to thank whoever the sponsor is for this division. I think Mission 22, I believe. I got to thank them for the sponsorship. I've got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Valentine's Day is coming up. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is coming up. All the holidays are coming up. Get yourself some Galen's Gourmet Popcorn for the holidays. And don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T at checkout, for 50% off some of their very delicious popcorn. I got to thank everyone involved in this league for running the show and making this league so much fun to run in. And I got to thank you for the broadcast.
It's always a pleasure, and man, you guys didn't disappoint with the racing action here tonight, that's for sure. Can't wait to see what comes forward with the 360s and then the midgets later on tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks, Adam.
Alrighty, look forward to seeing you in more if you do race.
Yep, I'll be there.
Alrighty, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was your winner, Blake Chapman. What a night so far we're having. Don't go anywhere. We got more racing action coming up. As we head on out through here, man, oh man, great racing action for everyone so far here at Lanier. We'll be back after this short break with more racing as we get ready for the 360 wing sprint cars.
It's time for another edition of iRacing Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in an on-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're just waiting for this to load up here. No, just give me a moment here.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. That just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Chapman out there in first right now with the fastest time in qualifying for your 360s. Here, back that line here. Now you see qualifying times are in. We got 19 drivers here signed up for your 360 sprints. For Mission 22, hometown heroes here tonight. Heat number 1, here we go. Here with 10 drivers. They're going to split them 10 and 9. So there's heat number 1. It's going to be your inside lane for your feature. Steven Bixler out there in front. Ted York there second. Scott Thompson driving at number 8 will roll off third. On the outside of row number 2, that's going to be Blake Chapman there in the number 20. Jack Clevenger there in 078, starting 5th. The outside row number 3, Zach Chapman there in the number 72. Inside row number 4 there in 7th, that is Dean Reynolds there in the number 79. Jeff Sharp there in 8th position, outside row number 4 in the number 28, Jeff Sharp. Starting there on inside row number 5, Donovan Ross in car number 05, rolling off in 9th, and on his outside there in row number 5, starting 10th, is the 147, Michael Vecchio. There we go. That's more what I'm like to seeing out of the 72 is Zach Chapman. As we see that number 72 Shaggy Machine for the sprint car. They roll out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Ted York out there in front. On that outside, he's got that Narc Machine out there for SSR. A lot of changes going on over there as well. People are familiar with SSR. Tyler Brandon stepping away, but SSR not going anywhere. Now you got the Flatline sponsored Steven Bixler Machine out there in that number 75. Fred pulls off. Green flag is out there, down and away here tonight. That line here for the 360 wing sprints. Look at him already sliding around. You got the 8 there. Scott Thompson working up there into the middle. Ted York stays up there on the high side. Sparks flies. He gets into that outside wall just a little bit down there in the corner. Number 1 and 2. Ted York really putting it down as you see that 8 there. Scott Thompson on the inside. Are we going to see this 2-lane racing once again? Looks like we very well may. And we see that 8 there, Scott Thompson working down there on the bottom side. Getting that bottom to work for him. That top side still has a little bit of grip for him. There you see that 8 there of Scott Thompson. I'm wondering if Scott's on a controller maybe. the way them wheels are flopping every which way, but I don't know. He might be on steering wheel. I don't know. Just watch there. He seems to smooth it out some, but you can see how twitchy that front end seems on the 8 as they work there off the corner. Ted York up there on the high side. Steven Bixler, they're out front. Blake Chapman now, he'll get up there on the high side, up above Scott Thompson to fight for that third spot. Thompson goes back here in the 4th, now 5th, as the 78 there. Clevenger gets around him. Dean Reynolds up there on the high side as well, as it gets to be one lane. Chapman down there on the inside now. Oh, hang on to it, Chapman. Hey, bring it there to a stop. That'll be the end there of heat number 1. I wasn't paying attention to laps. Sorry about that. We got our winner there of heat number 1. Steven Bixler. Ted York getting 2nd. Blake Chapman there 3rd. Jack Clevenger 4th. Scott Thompson there 5th. Dean Reynolds there 6th. Donovan Ross finishes 7th with Zach Chapman, otherwise known to many as Shaggy, back there in 8th. Jeff Sharp back there in 9th. Michael Vecchio in 10th. All right, heat number 2 on the grid. Patrick Spangler rolls off in front. Randy Shreves there 2nd. Patrick Seidel there in 3rd with Dan Laren there in 2nd. What the heck? Where is my... There's what I wanted. All right. Dan McLaren there in 4th. Joe Marcel in 5th. Keith Jackson in 6th. Jeff Barker in the 513 will be starting there in 7th. Bud Molyneux there in 8th. With Bob DeGood there in 9th. Here we go. Get ready for heat number 2. Where's your driver going to finish? One more time around here at Lanier, and then we'll get back on their way. That 39 there, Patrick Spangler out there in front. You got Randy Shreves there in the 56, finishing 2nd in your limited late model tonight. Out there in that front row here to start heat number 2. Gets a great run there off the corner. Maverick Seidel up there on the low side. They got McLaren up there on the top. Gonna try to bring it up there toward the front. Spangler can't get it up top yet. It's stuck down there on the bottom. Has to try to fight to see if he can get it snuck in somewhere. Can't quite do it yet. He's stuck down there on the inside. Now we got a battle there for 3rd. We see at number 113, Keith Jackson getting in the mix. Down through the backstretch here, out of corner number 3 and 4. 4 laps to go, now 3 laps as they come across the line. Here in the corner number 1. Up there against that outside wall goes the 88 of McLaren, getting into the back of Shreves. Now into Spangler, he goes around, oh no, collects a few more drivers. Randy Shreves up there in front, Patrick Spangler in 2nd, 2 laps to go. Maverick Seidel there 3rd, Jeff Barker 4th, Marcel McLaren in the 5th, Bud Molyneux back here in that 833. Up into the outside wall once again is Keith Jackson. And they roll down the back straightaway. Here you see Patrick Spangler, Randy Shreves up there in top. Bud Molyneux there in the 883. Trying to work his magic and get back up there towards the front. But the official results come in with Randy Shreves getting the win. Spangler 2nd. Seidel there 3rd. And that's going to decide your outside lane. So we'll take a quick look at it here as we get the heat 2 finish. There is heat number 2 results for your Mission 22 Hometown Heroes 360 Wing Sprint Cars. It's going to be Randy Shreves out there getting the win. Patrick Spangler there in 2nd. Maverick Seidel there 3rd. Jeff Barker there in 4th. Bob DeGood there in 5th. Bud Molyneux there in 6th. Keith Jackson in 7th. Dan McLaren there in 8th. Joe Marcel in 9th. We'll be back after this short message. Don't go anywhere. Your main event for the 360 Wing Sprints is coming up after this.
Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word is getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, you've seen how it changes people.
Alright, back here at the Speedway, about 20 seconds left here in warm-up. There you see their times right now in warm-up. Be sure to check on your driver quickly. It's about 10 seconds from being finished. Hey, driver, get dash track in. Pouring in here a little bit more. Man, we can't wait to see what they have in store for us. We had a great race in the limited late models. Now we're getting ready for the 360 wing sprints feature. Let's just hope we don't end up with a turn one parking lot once again, as we did there in the limited lates. Got through one lap, ended up coming into turn number one to start lap number two, and it became a parking lot. Let's hope we don't do that once again. Here we go. Starting grid here for tonight's 360 wing sprint car event. It's going to be on pole. Steven Bixler driving at number 75. To his outside there on the front row is the number 56 of Randy Shreves. In row number 2, the inside in third place. That's going to be the 09 of Ted York. Starting to his outside is Patrick Spangler. There in for driving car number 39. In fifth place, inside row number 3, is the number 20 for Christ Sim Racing. Blake Chapman rolling off there in fifth. To his outside, driving at number 26, Maverick Seidel. In row number 4, the inside, driving the 078. In position number 7 is going to be Jack Clevenger. In row number 4, outside in 8th position, that's going to be starting the 513 of Jeff Barker. Row number 5, Scott Thompson in the number 8 rolls off in 9th. Into his outside is Bob the Good in 7th. And 11th tonight, inside row number 6, that's going to be Dean Reynolds in the car number 79. Bud Molyneux in the 883 starts 12th tonight. Here in 13th is Donovan Ross driving car number 05 with Keith Jackson driving at 113 starting 14th. The 72 of Shaggy starting in 15th. Dan McLaren in 16th. Jeff Sharp starts 17th tonight. Joe Marcel rolls off in 18th. And rounding out your field of 19 drivers, Michael Vecchio. Down here, coming to the line, green flag is out. In the corner, number 1 they go. Up there on the high side, Randy Shreves trying to get a good jump. Ted York down there on the inside of him. There in third, as you see, Bixler out front. What a great start from him as he rolls down there out of turn number 2. Down that back straightaway in car number the 09 of Ted York. Now he's out there to the lead. Whoa, wait a moment. Somebody did something, not sure exactly what happened. Somebody disappeared or something. What a car up there. Maverick Seidel, Reynolds, yellow flag is out. There you see him there off the corner. There's a 56. I don't know exactly what happened there to the 56 that sent him backwards like that. That was Randy Shreves. He ended up back here in amongst this mess here. And you see he's up there against that top lane. And gets a little bit of a bump there from behind. He's working there off a 4. Ends up into the outside wall a little bit. And the 26 goes around Maverick Seidel, and that collects Dean Reynolds and Bud Molyneux. Under the first caution. I'm kind of curious though what happened there to the 56 on the start. And that he ended up back here. We'll see if we can quickly look at this. We watched the restart, or watched the start here, trying to figure out what happened there to the 56. He was running well up there against the high side, and all of a sudden he just wasn't there no more. I see, oh, there's what happened. He ended up into the outside wall. All right. I was going to say, I know there was somebody else up there besides who was there. So, you see him there. Now off of the corner, number 4. For the start, we got that 26 Seidel up into the outside wall again. Ted York out there in front with Spangler there in second. Caution back out. This time it's going to be for Jeff Sharp. Yeah, you see that 28 up there on the outside. Looking there. Oh, no, he just ended up getting put into the outside wall. Breaking that steering. He couldn't go nowhere. That'd be the reason why the 26 was up into the wall as well. So that car stopped out there on the outside lane. That'll bring out your caution. Ted York out there as your leader. Patrick Spangler there in second. Stephen Bixler there third. Second caution here in your wing sprint 360. For those of you that know sprint cars, you do realize there is another size above these, which is the 410 Outlaw Sprints, but this is the mid-grade 360 sprint car, so they're a little bit lighter, a little bit more power than what your 305s have, but not quite as light or fast as your 410s. So kind of a middle of the road. A lot of guys like the middle of the road when it comes to these. Provides a lot of great racing action as well. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the Mission 22 Hometown Heroes here tonight as we get back under green flag as Ted York. Great start. Patrick Spangler up there on the top side. That bottom side looks like it's coming in okay. Now you watch them battle it down here in the corner number 3 and 4. You got that 75 Stephen Bixler down here on the bottom. Spangler up there at the top side. Sharp with a black flag coming out of the pits. Might have been caught speeding. And as Ted York falls back as he's down there on that inside trying to wait for that to come alive. We see Patrick Spangler up there at the front. And Zach Chapman, Shaggy. Oh no, what'd you do? What roll, Raggy? They roll there off the corner. You see Shaggy's there. Oh, Dean Reynolds. Dean, what'd you do to Raggy? And we're down there out of corner number 4. Or I'm sorry, corner number 2. Single file here for this restart, it looks like. They're all lined up. They're anxious and ready. Lights are out. Fred pulls it off. Barnett grabs the green flag, waves it. They start their green flag racing once again. Ted York up there on the high side now, going to try to chase down that 39. Patrick Spangler. Spangler doing a great job. Chapman out there in third. He's going to try to get up there as well. Scott Thompson, he'll fall back there into about fourth right now. In the fifth. And oh no, they get together there. Hang on, fourth. Caution of the night. We got a bunch of them together. Bobby Good, Joe Marcel. I don't know what exactly is going on here. We'll see. Try to see if we can bring it down here. They've come off here. Green flag will roll. And see what happens here coming in. Hold up, turn number 4 in the corner number 1. They all kind of roll on down here. Watching Bob the Good there in the 7. They roll off down here in the corner number 3. Everything looked okay. I don't know what exactly the matter was. Caution comes out. I'm not seeing anything on my end that brought the caution out. Here with the 513. There it is. A 147 Michael Vecchio, and that of the 513 of Jeff Barker. That one took a little bit to find. Getting ready for green flag. Once again, they're lined up single file. Fred's going to pull off. Barney going to grab that yellow, grab the white. Let me get my color straight. He's going to grab that green flag, get him back, green flag racing here. They come out of 4. Fred pulls down off. Patrick Spangler has the lead now off the corner, down that front straightaway. Green flag conditions once again as Ted York rolls down there on the bottom side, trying to get that bottom lane to work. It seems that's where he's most comfortable, down there on the bottom, if he can just get it to grip. Back up there on the high side comes the 20 of Blake Chapman. Chapman, what a night he's having here at Lanier. He's got it up there on the outside, down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Running it as straight and true as he can. Off the corner number 4, 13 laps to go. You see York down there on the bottom. Bixler in the 75. He's back here in 4th. He's trying to get up there and battle for 3rd place if he can. Way up there against that outside wall. You see Thompson as well. And now the 78, Clevenger. He's working up there as well as Keith Jackson. They're in the number 7th spot in that 113. McLaren down there in the 88. Hey, Blake Chapman off the corner. Spangler out there in front. Ted York still committed down there on that bottom line. Can't quite get it to hook up like he did earlier on in the race. Does look like the best way to go is up there against that outside wall. Whereas otherwise I would call it that Lernerville line. That could be why Spangler is so comfortable with it up there. He does have a wall here, though, to help him out. He's usually pretty good at Lernerville, as he has taken a few laps there IRL as well. And he's got that lane up there at the top against that outside wall. Working well for him, as you got Chapman there 2nd. Ted York there 3rd. Clevenger there 4th. Keith Jackson there 5th. There you got Steven Bixler in 6th with Dan McLaren. Then you got Scott Thompson back there in 8th. Maverick set out there in 9th. And Bob the Good rounding out your top 10. York still battles it out, trying to hang on there to 3rd spot on the bottom side of the speedway. Chapman up there at the top. The sparks flying off that number 20. He's got it right up there against that outside cushion, against that outside wall at times. Got to be careful how close you get to that wall, as it could go and end up messing some of your night up. Hey, watch him there off a turn number 2. Spangler out there up top as well. Got that back roll bar grinding off that outside wall. No sparks there through 3 and 4 for Spangler. They got that cushion run thin here tonight. And you watch them come there off of turn 4. Spangler looking like a great candidate to win this as he rolls down the backstretch for the final time. Out front, Patrick Spangler working off of 4. He will get your win here tonight at Lanier. Patrick Spangler, your winner for Lanier here tonight. Second, Blake Chapman, Ted York there in third. Great job there as we wait for the official results to finally come in. There they are. Patrick Spangler getting the win. Blake Chapman there in second. Ted York there in third. With Jack Clevenger there in fourth. Keith Jackson fifth. Stephen Mixler there sixth. Dan McLaren in seventh. Maverick Seidel there in eighth. It was Scott Thompson in ninth. Bob the Good there in 10th with Dean Reynolds in 11th. Joe Marcel in 12th. Randy Shreves there in 13th. Donovan Ross finishes 14th tonight. Jeff Sharp 15th. Jeff Barker there 16th. Zach Chapman there as Shaggy in 17th. 18th tonight, that's going to go to Michael Vecchio with Bud Molyneux finishing there in 19th. All right, here we go. All right, we'll get with Ted York here. Good evening there, Ted. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How's things with you?
Pretty good. I had a good run tonight.
Well, I've been watching that SSR machine going around the track here quite a bit. I was wondering if you were going to break the top 3 at all or not.
Yeah, it felt good to lead her. Bottom kind of went away. And Pat and Blake got her on me on the top, but I stuck to the bottom and brought it home third.
You did a great job bringing it home third, and you looked like you enjoyed yourself out there at Lanier. Just unfortunately that bottom went away and didn't come in like it did in the late models.
Yeah, it definitely went away at 1 and 2. It was pretty good still at 3 and 4, I felt. Yeah.
You think if you ran top through 1 and bottom through 3 and 4, if it might have worked out a little different or not?
Probably, but then I probably would have started over driving 3 and 4, so I just stuck to one or the other.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to find that moisture out there.
Yeah.
So you got any sponsors? You got sponsors? Shout outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting that third place tonight?
I'd like to thank all at Coast to Coast for putting this on, and Mission 22 and Regal Reps for the broadcast sponsorship, and National Auto Racing Club is my sponsor.
Well, you did a great job, and I know that car looked good with that SSR and NARC on there as well, so hopefully you're having good luck over there as well.
Yeah, we got a new season starting up here in a couple weeks. Hopefully we'll have a good season.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and are you coming out for the midgets?
Yeah, it's at Kokomo, of course.
Alrighty, they are a blast at Kokomo, I will say. They're probably like the only car I like to drive at Kokomo.
Yeah, especially when tires are out. I love it.
Alrighty, well, we look forward to it, and good luck.
Thank you.
That was Ted York, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Blake Chapman. Good evening there, Blake. You're having a pretty decent night. You got second in the limited late models. Here coming into the 360s, you went and put down a good show and got second.
Yeah. This is kind of what I was expecting out of the limited late model race. I thought, it was going to be top dominant and you had to be up on the cushion, which wasn't the case for the late models, but it definitely was here. And I knew once Patrick got out to that lead that it was going to be really tough to catch him. I'm just not great at the top, running the top here. Never really have been, and he's great everywhere he goes, especially running up top. So I knew it was going to be tough for me to get a win. But you know, my goal after that was just kind of, you know, try and keep pace with him and try and put some pressure on him, and you know, not make any mistakes. Only got into the wall once or twice, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, definitely had to be up top tonight.
Yeah, that top lane, I almost like to call it the Lernerville line because that's the quickest way around Lernerville as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. I know we've run a lot of Lernerville over these Hometown Heroes the past couple of seasons, and yeah, you definitely have to be up top in Lernerville once it gets slick. And yeah, it was a similar story here tonight. The bottom, you know, shout out to Teddy. He had that thing rolling early, and then I think it went away pretty quick, about 5 laps in or so. So yeah, it just had to be up top, and you know, that's just the way some of these races go.
Well, you got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting that second place here in the 360s?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys over at KSR. I got to thank the family for watching. I got to thank C. Bixler for letting me hop in the Salty Dogs Discord and chat with him tonight. I got to thank Preston, Epsilon Sprint Wraps, and AJ Custom Creations. I got to thank the sponsor for this division. Drawing a blank on who that is, but got to thank all the sponsors for Hometown Heroes here tonight. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Some big holidays, President's Day, Columbus Day coming up. Make sure you got your Galen's Gourmet Popcorn ready for those holidays, and you can do that by heading over to their website. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And I got to thank everyone involved in running this league and making it so much fun to run in. And I got to thank you for the broadcast, Adam.
Definitely a great run there tonight. And are you done now?
No, I'll be in the midgets.
Oh, you'll be in the midgets? All right. I know there's some drivers out there after the 360s. They say they're done because they don't like them little cars.
Yeah, I think they're fun. Hopefully we get some you know, a good enough car count out where it can be fun to run these things. I enjoy running them.
They are a blast, especially at the, you know, get them going around Kokomo like we do tonight. It'll be fun. So good luck, and we'll see you on track over at Kokomo.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, that's Blake Chapman. Now we'll get with Patrick Spangler. Good evening there, Patrick. How's it going?
Hello.
All right, well, you got the victory here tonight at Lanier in the 360s. You look like you struggled a little bit in the limited lates, but it came together for you here in the 360s tonight.
Yeah, the limited lates, usually I'm not too good on those stuff when it's Lernerville, but I just had a strong start of the season. And then just caught up in some stuff in the back of the field. But then the sprints, I forgot to change my steering offset, put it back to 0 for the heat race. So I was a little all over the place there. I just rode the middle. And then just rode the top. And that was one of the biggest cushions I've seen at Lanier in a while. So it was pretty easy just to lean on it pretty good and just keep it steady.
Yeah, you definitely had that cushion working for you tonight up there against that outside wall. I know Blake Chapman, he was trying, but I don't think he was getting enough off that cushion like you were.
Yeah, Blake is, I mean, he's great everywhere he runs, but if the track's down low, that's where his bread and butter. He can run the top usually, but that bottom is usually his butter. But we were turning about the same lap time, so he usually saves a little bit more tire than I do, so if we got a caution, he may have me there, but I was happy to see a green and take it to victory lane.
Well, you did a great job. The car looked great out there. And you got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting that victory tonight?
Just you for the awesome stuff you do for the league, between the broadcast and all the artwork, graphics. Mission 22 for jumping on sponsor, and you for sponsoring. Jack, Jeff, and Dean for running the league. And Dad and Uncle for watching back home.
All righty. Well, great job there tonight. And I think you're having an okay season here so far at Coast to Coast, right?
Yeah, hopefully get some momentum going, and I pray if we're at Lincoln or Lernerville next week, but I look forward to it.
All righty. Well, great job. And are you done then for the night, or are you going to run the midgets?
No, I'm done for tonight.
All righty. Well,
catch you next week.
All righty. We'll catch you next week there, Pat. And great run here tonight.
That sounds good. See you later.
All right, Patrick Spangler, your winner here at Lanier for the 360 Wing Sprint Cars. We'll be right back with your Wriggle Wraps and Designs Midget Series from Kokomo. So don't go anywhere. A lot more racing yet to come.
friends, it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. It's on the champion. Trying to be at the
hiatus, so let's get.
We talked about it.
Dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and led to a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in the race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Alright, we're back here from Kokomo, as you can see with the midgets. We got 12 drivers out here ready to shake it up. Jeff Barger out there in the 513, Jack Hitt in the 217. Randy Reed's out there in the 56. Getting it rolling around there. You got Keith Jackson out there in the 113. Brandon Templeton, he's out there in that 31. And watch it roll down there on the bottom. Yeah, no. For me, I know I like to try to. Oh man, them tires might be a problem here tonight. There, oh boy. There you see Templeton ended up catching one there in turn 1 and 2. Keith Jackson out there running second fastest. There you got Randy Shreve, their third fastest. Now, here we go. The qualifying will be beginning. Qualifying underway as you're watching them come around there. Blake Chapman out on track, watching Joe Marcel. Dublin in with a 12.681. Chapman with a 12.762. Jack Hitt there with 12.829. Yeah, I see a bunch of them there still putting laps in. Jack Clevenger there in 078. Currently there in 6th with a 12.950. Most likely be where he'll finish up. Donovan Ross with a 13.413. Qualifying ending here. Hey, driver head off here. Probably will have 2 heats. Yep, I figured inside row here for heat number 1. We got here for them, we got Randy Shreves out there in front. Joe Marcel there in 2nd. In 3rd, that's going to be Jack Hitt. And 4th, Blake Chapman, 5th, Jeff Barker, Bob the Good, there in 6th. Hey, driver, do a great job getting them around the track. Six laps is the distance here for the midgets in heat number 1. Randy Shreves, your control car out there in that number 56. Great run in the limited lates. Had another, didn't quite have the run he was looking for in the 360s. But he's out here ready to put on a show in the midgets. Fred pulls the pace car off. Barney grabs that green flag. Here we go. At Kokomo for the 360s. Down through the front straightaway in the corner number 1. Here they go as they go around the raceway here tonight. 3 wide already as that Hooters number 217 of Jack Hitt makes that inside lane work. But look at Shreves really get that thing slung out there, running that thing hard. As you watch the whole field almost stack up there in corner number 1 and 2. Great racing so far. And we got 4 of them stacked tightly here through off 4 down through the front straightaway. Jack Hitt down there on the bottom side trying to get around Shreves. Up there on that high side, that 56 of Shreves falling back now as the 028 there of Joe Marcel. Gets around him up into the outside wall goes Marcel. Shreves down there into 2nd. Chapman working down there on the bottom. Gets around him there in that number 20. Nos Machine. Shreves works underneath him now coming there off 4. 2 laps to go here at Kokomo. Heat number 1 of the Regal Raps Midgets. Working out through the back straightaway in the corner number 3 and 4. Out of 4, you got Jack Hitt out front. Chapman there 2nd. Randy Shreves there in 3rd as they're rolling on out. Up there along the top side, Chapman really getting that thing slung along there. There's 1 lap left here, not even that. Jack Hitt comes across the line, gets the win here in heat number 1 at Kokomo. Heat 1 results are gonna be Jack Hitt getting the win. Blake Chapman there in 2nd. Randy Shreves 3rd. Jeff Barker 4th. Joe Marcel there in 5th. With Bob DeGood there in 6th. All right, here starting in heat number 2. Gonna be Ted York starting there on pole. Jack Clevenger there in 2nd. Keith Jackson 3rd. Brandon Templeton 4th. Stephen Bixler 5th. Donovan Ross in 6th. Hey, watch it coming here off turn number 2. Great job there by the driver that worked on down in the corner number 1. Fred pulls off. Barney grabs that flag. Off turn 3, into turn 4 they go. Down and away here tonight. In the corner number 1. Side by side, look out down there on the bottom side they go. Look out, Clevenger, what a run off the top. Oh no, Ted York gets collected a little bit. Ends up there on the high side. Going to try to see if it feels all right. Looks like it as they come down there in the corner number 1. Brandon Templeton out there in front. Keith Jackson now in second. Then we see Bixler there in third. Donovan Ross there in fourth. Working here off the corner now. Hey, bring it on out. Great job so far. Man, oh man, that separated them quite a bit. Now we got Templeton out there. Jackson there in second. Bixler in third. As we see Jackson trying to chase down Templeton there in the number 31. Bixler in third. There you see Jake Clevenger, Donovan Ross, and Ted York back here at the back. Unfortunately, I don't think he's got quite the car feel that he wants right now. 2 laps to go. Now 1 lap as he comes across the line for Brandon Templeton. Templeton finds that inside tire. Going to try to get it back underway. That's going to give the lead over to Keith Jackson. Steven Bixler in second, and they work there off corner number 4. Bixler in second. Templeton there third. Clevenger there fourth. Donovan Ross there fifth. Ted York in sixth. Templeton there with a slowdown at the end of that one. Heat number 2 results. Going to be here with Keith Jackson, Steven Bixler getting second, Brandon Templeton in third, Jack Clevenger there in fourth, Donovan Ross there in fifth, with Ted York in sixth. All right, we'll be back after this short message from this series sponsor in just a few moments.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your brand, your image, elevated to a level you can't ignore. This isn't just a rap, it's a revolution. Regal Raps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Raps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision to the front. Seamless statements, artful accents, huge and we are Regal Raps and Designs.
All right, here we go. Getting ready for the start of the feature here tonight. Yeah, we got to run around here, try to check, see how much time is left. We got a minute left here for warm-ups. I see Templeton out there, Jackson out there. Well, up the corner they go. warm-up comes here to an end in about 15 seconds. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed the racing here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here from On the Pole. All right, here is your starting grid here tonight. It is going to be Jack Hitt out there in front with Keith Jackson there second. Blake Chapman third. Steven Bixler fourth. Randy Reeves in fifth. Brandon Templeton there in sixth. Jet Barker in seventh. Jack Clevenger there in eighth. Joe Marcel in ninth. Donovan Ross there in 10th. Bob DeGood in 11th with Ted York in 12th. That is your starting grid here tonight. At 2:17 of Jack Hitt gets them ready for the drop of the flag. Now, you're watching for Fleeger Farm TV. We are not done after these midgets. We will be taking a short break, and then we'll be back with the Cup Series from Freedom Motorsport Alliance. But tonight, here we still got to finish out our Mission 22 Hometown Heroes night with the Regal Wraps and Designs midgets. Out here through the corner. Off up two, down through the front straightaway. In the corner, number 3 and 4 they go. 3 wide there, you see them coming off. What a spread across the track. 24 laps to go. Jack Hitt is out front. Donovan Ross having issues back here towards the back. Spun around early in this one. Ends up getting it straightened back out as they get back underway. Randy Reeves there in 6th in car number 56. There, watch for the excitement there. You're looking at Randy Reeves, like we said, in that 56. Up there towards the front, though, all kind of racing going on. Now they're 3 wide with Templeton there all over through the middle of the racetrack. Now down there towards the lower side, there you see that Hooters machine of Jack Hitt battling on the inside. And up there on the top side, that's the 113 of Keith Jackson. And right behind him, that is Blake Chapman there in 2nd, trying to get that thing slide in there. Templeton back there in 4th as they roll off through turn 3 and 4. 20 laps to go, now 19 laps to go. Everybody's single filed out up there at the top side, with the exception there of Jack Hitt on the bottom. And then you get back towards the back, you got Bob DeGood down there on the bottom, as well as the, or maybe no, Bob DeGood's up there on the top. No, I'm sorry, that's Ted York up there on top. Yeah, it is Bob DeGood down there. Joe Marcel. Ted York finally getting that thing felt, getting a feeling for that car. And he starts to try to bring his way around here towards the top. Yellow flag is out as Templeton goes around on the pit road now. I think Templeton ended up finding an infield tire. That, or did he find the outside wall? That could be the possibility too. Out here through 3 and 4. Up there. Yep, he found the outside wall and the catch fence. Great heads up driving there by the drivers behind him. That's the first caution here in the Regal Wraps Midgets main event. Off into corner number 1 they go. Keith Jackson out there in front. Chapman there in second. Jack hit there third. Randy Shreves there for it. Ted York back here in fifth. There you see Templeton still on pit road. I don't know. He'll be back out. That is hard to say as they roll here off of 4. Ready for the restart. Here they go. Keith Jackson out there in front, down and away. Here in the corner number 1. Jack hit down there on the bottom side, trying to get underneath. The 20 of Blake Chapman can't quite get it. Randy Shreves, they're battling for third place. They work off a corner number 4. Down through the front straightaway. That number 113 of Keith Jackson. Great job out front, up there at the top. Jet Barker with a black flag, unsure for what. That was the Chapman back there. There's that Hooters machine down there on the bottom side of Jack hit. Ted York up there in the fourth now, and Blake Chapman there in a third. Randy Shreves there in second. There you want them all come down here in the corner number 1. That high side seems to be where it is at. Barker better do something with that black flag. Otherwise, he can be at risk of being DQ'd. Caution is out. For Bob the Good. There, watching Bob the Good comes off the corner down here in the corner number 1. And it looks like he got together with somebody down there. Trying to figure out who that is. Was that Templeton? No, that wasn't Templeton. Might have been. I think that was Jeff Barker that he got involved with. Bob the Good now with a black flag. Here you go, coming to the coming here to the green flag once again. Off of the corner, Keith Jackson does a great job. Randy Shreves there in second. Ted York there in third. Blake Chapman now up to second. And working on out there. Ted York up there on the outside as well. With Randy Shreves trying to battle around Blake Chapman. Blake Chapman trying to get that bottom lane to work. Can't quite do it yet. And he's got company there coming from behind him. Ted York. Ted York getting into third place. Shreves getting it a little loose, coming there off the corner. Oh no! And they get into it there. That's the trying to figure out who that was that got in a mix of that. I think that was Clevenger. There they got around. No. Keith Jackson goes around. Donovan Ross also having issues. Now here's Donovan Ross. They'll bring it down there slow on the bottom side. And bring it down there on the pit road. And then we got this here from Jackson. Keith Jackson up there running well out front. Just unfortunate there. I don't know if he just made a mistake getting into corner number 1. Templeton up there on the high side, I think might have got a little bit of a piece of it. Oh, now that hands the lead over to Randy Shreves. Blake Chapman there in second. Jack Clevenger there in third. Jack hitting for it. Ted York in fifth. Is there single file here for the restart? Off turn number 4 they come. Up there on the top side. Green flag out there down and away. Blake Chapman there in 7th. Going to try to chase down Randy Shreve. But Clevenger there in 3rd. Jack Hitt there 4th. Ted York, he's back here in a 5th. Trying to battle with that back up there toward the top. He's done a great job getting that midget around that top side. I don't know, is he no, he's not the fastest on the speedway, but he definitely is putting down quite a lap time there. We see Clevenger now into the outside wall. Yellow flag back out, this time for Clevenger. Hey, Clevenger up there on the top side. Come down through, he got touching that outside wall a little bit by a little bit. And all of a sudden, it just grabs him and puts him up into that catch fence. And the 028 there of Joe Marcel is there with nowhere to go. Fourth caution here in the midgets. All right, Fred's pull up. Barney's got the flag. He waves it. They're down and away. Here in the number 1 once again. Shreves out there in front. White. So 4 laps to go. Here they come down into. Oh no! Up and around goes somebody. That's going to bring out the caution. That's Steven Bixler. Steven Bixler getting involved along with Jack Hitt possibly. See exactly what happened here. There, Jack Hitt come down there on the bottom. Up there on that top side. And yeah, that's what happened. Great job there. And Templeton ends up getting spun around there at the end of that. But Chapman ended up coming down there into the side there of Hitt. There we go, down the front straight away. Randy Shreves up front. Chapman down there on the inside. Ted York back up here in the 3rd. It's battling up there on the top side. Great job by him. Look out, that 56 looks a little loose up there. Ted York has to try to battle it and work around him. Can't quite get there. Had to let off of it. Lost the momentum here with 2 laps to go. Coming here out of turn number 3 and 4. That'll be final lap here for these drivers up front of Chapman, Shreves, and York. York trying to hang on there for 3rd. As Shreves there in 2nd. Chapman there in 3rd. As York comes there off. Blake Chapman, he gets the win here at Kokomo in the midgets. Oh, Blake Chapman, your winner here in the midgets tonight. Your results are going to be Blake Chapman with Randy Shreves in 2nd. Ted York 3rd. Jack Hitt 4th. Jeff Barger there in 5th. Joe Moselle in 6th. Keith Jackson there in 7th. Bob DeGood there in 8th. Steven Bixler there 9th. Brandon Templeton there in 10th. Jack Clevenger there in 11th. Donovan Ross there in 12th. As we get back here to get with the leaders in just a moment. Alrighty, here we go. Give it Randy Shreves out here. Good evening there, Randy. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Well, you got second here in the midgets.
Yeah, I thought that I could have done a little better. I just kind of screwed up on that last restart there. I just kind of went in to 1 and 2 a little too hard there, and you know, allowed Blake to get by me. And you know, once he gets by you, it's hard to get back by him. But yeah, that was totally on me. I screwed that one all up. But you know, still happy to pull off second. Not super great in the midgets, but they're always fun to drive though.
They are, and you did a great job bringing that 56 back up there in the second place. I know, yeah, it looked like you might have struggled a little bit in the 360s, and I'm seeing a note here from the one of the league admins that netcode might have been an issue in the 360s tonight as well.
Yeah, it could have been. I just, you know, it was a little bit of bad luck there. You know, it is what it is. It's just racing, and, you know, it's always fun. But, you know, it's just racing.
Well, great job at least shaking it off and getting back out here. And you got a podium here in the midgets, bringing home second. You got any sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that second place?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to thank Coast to Coast, you, Adam, for the broadcast. You know, everybody that puts this thing on. My son Dylan Shreves for painting my cars. My buddy Mike McCoy for watching. My boss Jeff Spann and his wife and family for watching. And, you know, just everybody involved with this thing.
All right, well, great job. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, have Randy Shreves. Now we'll get with Ted York, our third place driver. Good evening there, Ted. How's it going again?
It's going pretty good.
Man, it looked like you were having a blast out there. You came up through the field tonight.
I felt bad that I wasn't clear when I came up in the heat race, so I made sure that I started at the back. I didn't want to get around anybody in the heat. And just started picking them off in the feature. It was fun ripping around the wall in the midget and Kokomo.
Man, it definitely looked like you had it hooked up there, up at the top.
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't like it anywhere else. That didn't seem like I could carry as much momentum through 3 and 4 in the middle. There was a little bit kind of down low. 1 and 2 I could get, but I like the top.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you had fun. You definitely looked like you were having a blast out there, though, in these little things.
Oh yeah. I had a blast.
You got any sponsor shouts? Anybody you want to thank for getting third place in the midgets tonight?
You for broadcasting, and every Coast to Coast for putting it on, and School of Sim Racing and National Auto Racing Club.
Alrighty, well, we'll see you next week, Ted, hopefully, and you're going to take this momentum with you.
Hopefully. Have a good night.
Alrighty, you too there, Ted. That's Ted York. Third place here in the Coast to Coast Hometown Heroes Regal Raps Midgets. Now we'll get with our winner here. Our winner, Blake Chapman.
Yeah, Adam, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Victory Lane, once again, you got it there in the limited lates, and now you got it here in the midgets.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Definitely a successful night. Obviously, I wish I could have had it in the 360s too, but first, second, and first, I'll definitely take that every week.
Well, I mean, I know it's a feat anytime anybody can go and get a three-peat on any of these coast-to-coast nights.
Yeah, definitely. I've done it just a couple of times, I think, but it's definitely not easy. especially tonight with the car counts we had, were actually pretty good for the last couple of weeks. Everyone they haven't been so good. So yeah, definitely good to see more cars out here and different track here for Kokomo. With the tires out, I'm used to running around the bottom with the tires in. I'm usually pretty good down there, but this forced me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Had to get up top, and that was definitely the place to be. And you know, we're just running right behind Randy there. Felt like we were probably a little faster than he was. So you know, tried to slide her a couple of times, and I could tell once I got into the corner that wasn't going to work. This track is just too wide. You start sliding too early in the corner to really try a slider. So yeah, I had to go to the bottom there, and apologize to Jack for that contact we had. Felt like we kind of met in the middle there, but definitely avoidable on my end. But you know, just trying to get to the bottom and get around Randy before he build his momentum up, and then you know, the last restart there, we went down there and I think he screwed up a little bit up top, and that opened the door for us to steal the win.
Yeah, he definitely did a great job hanging on to it there. I know we had a few cautions. I think there was 4 of them tonight. But, I mean, great job there getting that win. And hopefully you can carry this momentum into next week.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure where we're going to be at. Not sure what the track rotation is. But, you know, always enjoy running Hometown Heroes. And yeah, definitely hope to be back next week.
Well, next week, it looks like for the Hometown Heroes, we're going to be, for week 5, at Charlotte and Chili Bowl.
Oh, that should be exciting. I haven't run the midgets at Chili Bowl very often. That should be fun. And then Charlotte's usually a pretty good track. Usually get multi-groove racing there. So, yeah, it should be a good show.
Should be. And hopefully we'll have the limited late models putting on in multi-lane like we did tonight. That was great to see and great fun to watch.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun to drive. Yeah, absolutely. We're hoping the track comes in pretty similar, and hopefully got a great car count for the late models. Hopefully those guys all come back next week and run and stick around for the 360s and midgets too.
Yeah, we'll see how well it goes. Great job again and getting that victory. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank the family for watching. I got to thank all the boys down at KSR, and got to thank Steve Bixler for letting me hop in the Salty Dogs Discord and chat with him tonight. I got to thank Preston at Flan Sprint Wraps, Danny at AJ Custom Creations. Got to thank all the sponsors for this Hometown Heroes series. Couldn't do it without them. And I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn, of course. They got some of the best stuff out there. You can check it out for yourself if you head over to their website. And don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. I got to thank everyone involved in putting this league on, and I got to thank you for the broadcast.
Alrighty, great job, and we'll see you next week there, Blake.
Sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
All right. So that was Blake Chapman there getting the win tonight. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. Thank you all for tuning in to both Coast to Coast Racing Network, the mainstay of the Coast to Coast Racing League, as well as for those that might have tuned in, Uber at Fleeger Farm TV on the poll tonight. We definitely appreciate everybody over there as well. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a great and wonderful night. We'll be back tomorrow night with the pro late models from Regal Wraps here at Coast to Coast. But for those, that's what I'm going to be. But Shaggy will be bringing you the modifieds starting beforehand. So be sure to subscribe and like and catch the you can catch the modifieds beforehand. Thank you so much again for watching. Have yourselves a great and wonderful night.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but it's You really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.